Cities Excel is at least close to SimCity for the people who are here for a city builder. So this game is actually quite fun, quite nice to look at. It's much closer to sort of classic SimCity than some of the SimCity 5 stuff. Although SimCity 5 is like, it's brilliant fun. People are complaining about all kinds of things, but wow, this is going to be hard landscape to work with. Really hard. All right. A small avenue. Connect it out of there. And let's make it curvy. I mean, if nothing else, the maps in this game are big. Right? And you'll see very soon that they cover huge areas. Alright, so we're just going to plop a city hall down kind of at random. Whee! Where did I put it? There it is. So city hall. So you can zoom in to the front door of the freaking building and practically read the plaque on it. Or you can pull way out and see a huge region. You know, it's not bad. We get to build a little cheap utility center. We'll just build it out of the way. There are no power lines or anything like that. I mean, I don't know, some people were really cranky about SimCity 5 about the fact that you didn't build power lines, you didn't build freaking like water pipes anymore, and it's like, I found that the most boring, stupid, tedious stuff. Like, there's no point in doing that. And in real life, like, that stuff, power lines just get built along roads, and water pipes get built under roads. So just have everything built under there. Yeah, someone just pointed out on Twitter, and this is something that Max has announced at least a few days or a few hours ago or something like that. They will be making DLC for bigger city tiles. And one of the things is, I was playing this on another system, on a Mac, in a virtual Windows install within that Mac. Not dual booting, but like virtual window in there. And SimCity 5 ran fine under there on like an old crappy Mac in a virtual machine, and it still ran fine. So they can definitely do bigger cities. So I will, maybe it's jerky for them to put it in a DLC, but I don't know. I think they had probably reasons. I'm not saying they were good reasons. I'm just saying that they had reasons. I'm gonna go and make some pretty curly, nonsensical roads with my avenues. I'm just like gonna make stuff. Here, we'll do some sort of like S zigzags, like little bendy roos, just to have some sort of like interesting kind of land to work with, because we actually start with a lot of money in this game. Here, we'll have it. Really? Alright, we'll just have it finish here then. And then we'll have it continue. In Essentia, if you happen to find out that the servers are back up, you can go ahead and like come down here and let me know. Oh, I can't go up the cliffs? Really? Alright. So I like to do stuff like that because then it leads to just really interesting kind of landscape at the end. You know, you get some interesting layouts for your roads and whatever. And it's just, it's like doing random pencil drawings and things. So let's use the Freezone tool and get some bits in here. This is definitely not an efficient way of making a city. It's just a way of making a city. And it'll look nice. We're not going to be playing this long term. So the game's not necessarily the fastest, and there's definitely been some complaints that in later game, RAM really becomes a limiting factor. Perhaps due to memory leaks, perhaps not. I mean, usually the people making claims about that sort of thing are not programmers, so it's really hard to sort of quantify that. And people are always like, oh, it's not multi-threaded either. Well, it's not something you can just like push a button and have it go on and be multi-threaded. That being said, it definitely doesn't run quite as smoothly as Civ 5, even on a newer computer. Yeah, people are lagging like crazy, huh? Let me, I'm gonna capture this a different way. Give me a sec. Instead of through this, I'm gonna go to this mode. And you'll get the stupid bars around here, but it actually should lag a lot less. I'm not dropping frames, so it shouldn't be that. It's probably just a problem with like capturing the game properly. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, so this is not a Sims game. This is Cities XL. It's a city building game very similar to things like SimCity. Yeah, that's not entirely true. The simulation is not entirely run on the server. In fact, it's mostly run on your computer. It's just some of the region stuff that's run on the server, which is why that's also conveniently most of the glitchiest stuff. They've tried to explain, like, part of the reason they have the always on thing is because, oh, it has to be always on because we do all this stuff in a farm. And it's like, well, not exactly. It's mostly just a sort of BS marketing answer. It's trying to auto-create this, but apparently my areas are a little too wonky for it. It doesn't like it. No, the other way. Ah! It's trying really hard. Wow, it is being really slow for me. I don't know if there's a... What's running in the... There's nothing running in the background. My CPU is fine. Let me see this. Why is this recording so poorly? That's a good question. Yeah, so Demonac apparently hasn't been kicked out yet. Demonac is Evil Author, the other guy who's in there. But it says he's not connected to the server. The problem is that if the servers never come up properly, then it won't actually end up doing the sync, which is going to be really disappointing. Let's split this in half and then see what we can do. See if that'll make it autofill. In fact, I probably should just use a different technique. Alright, let's do that. Let's just do a... let's make some square blocks. Maybe off of this area here. Some low density industrial. We can get some farming. Farming's really nice looking. So agricultural areas. So we've got some nice fertile land here. So we'll just make a bunch of farms along this highway. Being able to draw out these farms is possibly my favorite part of the game. Because then when you zoom out, you'll see after we get out of this color mode, it kind of looks like looking at farms from an airplane. And that makes me happy. There we are. You know what? We'll just keep building this. So, I don't... some people have said, because I've usually defined this game, I keep saying it's more sort of a city designer than a game. Because I always say, oh, it's not very hard. But some people have made the case that it starts off fairly easy, but then like to make a really big, hugely populated city is ridiculously complicated. There you go. We'll have it kind of come in. Saving city. not on the cloud, just saving the city. So the big cities are, you know, super complicated to maintain and things, and well, that's not a bad thing. Why can I not? Sure, it connected at some point. You know what? Close it, and then we'll just continue again. I think it's when I tell it to loop on itself, yeah. It sees that as like some sort of conflict and it can't figure it out. Okay. Yeah, so, and you can build beautiful visual cities, especially when you compared this to SimCity 4, okay? SimCity 4 rocks for gameplay, and challenge and all that. But the cities, I mean, you can do a little bit with, you know, diagonals or whatever, but it's not a truly 3D game, you know? It's you know, kind of square and boxy and fairly 2D-ish and, you know, kind of drawn graphics in a lot of ways. I know it's not actually, but it just kind of looks like that to me. So it always struck me as this is an awfully pretty game once you get going. I really can't do that angle? Alright. That's a hard one to fit in. So anyway, so if you like games that let you make like pretty and interesting looking cities, this was always something I really highly recommended to people, despite potential like performance problems down the road. Okay, so that's plenty of farmland. We're actually going to need way more housing. So there's no RCI meter in here, which is too bad, but you do get these great pop-ups based on their different skills. So yeah, they're definitely complaining that there's not enough housing, which makes tons of sense. They're also complaining that there aren't enough shops, which I also buy. I also believe that. So let's do something kind of like this. Come on, there you go. How's this stream? Hopefully it's not as lag. No, it looks like it's a lot better now that I switched to a different way of doing it, right? Although I don't have my little explanatory text for people who are jumping on here and being like, what? This doesn't look like SimCity 5. Or maybe it does. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to put my little pop-up, my little text description of what's going on here. Basically, if you're just joining us, it's because the Origin servers have died again. At least Maxis in their various tweets and things have put the blame on some of the Origin side of things as opposed to their side of things. And we don't know who runs the servers and things and all that. You know, it could be anything. Factory is very unhappy. Well, half these pop-ups don't actually make any sense because we haven't unlocked that stuff yet. So we're going to build some retail. And I think, can I just draw it out like this? Does that work? No, it doesn't. That's too bad. So I think I'm going to manually place these down here. So these red areas, these are houses that don't have access to retail shopping. So that will be resolved by getting these guys up here. So you notice, like, you're zoning actual individual plots in this game. They don't, whoops, they don't join the same way. Let's just make another batch of commercial stuff over here. You don't zone the same way as in SimCity. That's the biggest difference between this game and the other one. But things do look really nice. Again, you know, you can zoom right in, and you know, there's a reason the game's a bit of a memory hog. It's that it's incredibly detailed up close. Like, what the hell, man? You'd film a movie in here. Hello. Is the server working?
Seems like it.
Huh? Let's give it a try, guys. Cross your fingers. Although I'm certainly having a lot of fun just making my little city in Excel over here. I find, like, I haven't ever played this into the very late game, so I've never gotten to, like, the big metropoli, I don't know, the big cities. But I find it makes these sort of, like, rural communities with little houses and farms and stuff very nicely. These parks and stuff you can actually autofill, right? So if I had a place where I had kind of a gap, like over here, right, with the road, you've got these decorations, these areas, and you can just, like, it'll just fill it for you. And there's different kinds. There's the plazas, little marketplaces, which are cute. I mean, they don't do anything. They just, like, look nice, right? So you plop this down, for example, and this one's going to be kind of repetitive, but then you get all these little stalls in here. And they look great when you just, like, sort of stick in between buildings. And this is what has happened here. It's automatically done some of the parks in between the buildings to make it look good. I'm still not connecting, but what I'll do is I'll drop out and I'll kill Origin again and then give it another try and see if that helps. Because I'm definitely not getting into SimCity. Yeah, our viewership has actually gone up in the last few minutes since I stopped playing SimCity. What the hell? You know what? It's probably all these people leaving other streams and being like, I want to find a game that works. Not enough unskilled workers. Well, that's just because they haven't moved in yet. So we'll just have to wait. We can fast forward. Crank the speed up. I think 4 is the max? No, I'm wrong. 5 is the max. And then the houses will start to fill in. So we are losing money right now, but the cash flow is coming close to 0 and will soon go positive because these guys will all fill up. Alright, let's quit Origin and give it another try here. SimCity. So yeah, Cities XL was Plan B, Plan C was potentially like SimCity 4, and then Plan D was like, you know what, let me fire up Unity, I'm going to program my own copy of SimCity. But better. With blackjack and other things. Whee! Sorry, I'm sure the spinning screws up the stream every time I do it, but it's easy to do accidentally. So we've unlocked medium hotels. Right. So there's kind of an interesting thing. We will need more industry at some point. And there is sort of the, what SimCity 5 now has, the idea of this sort of chain of production. It works a little differently in here, and it's actually really cool. The people who have just seen my Cities XL video on YouTube, this will be kind of familiar to you, but your different industry and things create these tokens which you can trade between cities. So for example, right now we've got an excess of food industry. So I can turn that around and ship that to some of my other cities. I could also, if I wanted to, trade it. They put in this sort of generic mega corporation. So I do have a couple other cities in here. Quillopolis and Britisher. Yeah, I'm amazing. But then they have this Omnicorp they'll take everything, right? They just have a bunch of money that they can ship out. So my extra food I can send to them, and they will offset it by giving me money, and that will dramatically increase the amount of money that I make per turn. Some things are worth more than others, and you can buy things off them as well. And again, you can trade between cities, and so you can have your specialized cities. They have, you know, the Paris map or whatever, which it's got no resources whatsoever, but huge tourism appeal. So you make your big tourist town there. But I was going to say these buildings here, these offices, they need a few other services, for example, or these industries, they need office services. So we can build a few of those, and they'll be serviced by that. And then offices need a certain class of workers and all kinds of things. So under industry, we've got offices. I guess I'll just run it ×2 maybe. Yeah, some people are asking for different games in chat, like Fanorams and things, which is some League of Legends stuff, and those are always a lot of fun. But I don't want to go and do a different type of game here. I want to stay in the same genre, even if it wasn't what people were expecting. So it looks like for me the servers are still down. Maybe they're up for some people, but they're definitely not working for me. I don't even get the chance to choose a server, right? So it's not even like I could load a different kind of map. There you go. So we've got some office space building in. And I like the roads. Like, we're on the English roads, right? So the traffic drives on the left. Great. It's great. And these little indicators. I mean, I really, really think it's lovely. I can totally see why this game crushes computers when the cities get big. But God, is it pretty. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, see, I gotta get that little sign going on for the explanation because the way people keep asking. But yeah, SimCity servers are down, so we are killing time by playing different games. Unskilled workers are getting unemployment. Yeah, because now this is all populated. All these neighborhoods are all full of people now. So they need more jobs. They're satisfied with retail. That's good. But yeah, so we'll put in some more industry. Industry, of course, can always pollute. But we've unlocked some manufacturing, which manufacturing needs a combination of skilled and unskilled workers. So that'll give us a chance to start expanding there. Build a little more of the square. I mean, the square building zones, or whatever you want to call it, are boring. But they sure are functional. Especially with all these curved lines, it was hard to get them to match up. But we'll keep building the interesting sort of landscape when we can. So these things with the symbols above their heads, they can't be serviced. See, these guys don't have enough office services, but that'll kick in pretty soon, so that won't be much of a problem. We're going to need some skilled housing. So we'll build a little low-density skilled housing. We'll stick it in this area, maybe. I like the music in this game, too. It feels, I don't know, kind of surprisingly epic. And it does, these free-form zones do a pretty good job of wrapping around the roads and wrapping around the buildings, and you end up with this sort of organic-y feeling neighborhoods. And I don't know, I really like the look of the game. Now, this ends up with horrible traffic problems later on. Like, oh man. Especially whenever there's an intersection, it's bad. So the fact that I've got so many of them is actually a huge problem. You know, you want to avoid that sort of stuff. And later on, like, you haven't seen it yet, but now that my city's getting bigger, I'm unlocking more and more types of traffic, and you've got, like, pretty involved, like, highways. These will be highways. Once you get to 500,000 population, then you can get, like, huge roads and really shuttle a lot of cars around. Oh, turn the music down. Yes, sorry about that. I didn't realize it was quite so loud. Oh, I turned up the volume when I was playing the music, my hold music. There you go. It should be quieter now, I think. I mean, right now there's no music playing, so it's kind of deceptive, but there you have it. How are people feeling? Unemployment, unskilled workers, so yeah, we need some more heavy industry jobs. So, you know, it's your standard sort of SimCity-ish back and forth between different demands until everything is kind of met and happy. This game is Cities Excel, specifically Cities Excel Platinum, although 2011, 2012, Platinum are all the same game, basically. They're sort of expansions of one another. You know, more buildings, presumably some bug fixes. There's also a very active modding community for this, including like fan patches and bug fixes and that sort of thing, which is pretty good. I'm missing a couple of tweets here. What do people have to say? Bum, 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 bum. Oh, there we go. Just about the music. All right. Should we give SimCity another try? I'm gonna give up on it at some point. We're making tons of money. Part of that is selling our excess food. Oh yeah. See, now people are starting to get ill, and this crime is going to be a problem. So yeah, it's the same thing as SimCity, right? Everything is great until you have to start actually providing city services. So health, right now we have clinic, medical center, and health center unlocked, each one with a different... they actually all have the same construction cost. Apparently the clinic is actually better than the other two, which are identical to one another. I hadn't realized that. I don't have any executives, so I can't actually run a clinic right now. So We'll just use medical centers. And again, just like in SimCity, you get this sort of highlighting of which areas are going to be serviced by these things. So if we kind of drop it in the middle here, it's going to get basically my whole residential. Although I guess I could put it on the main avenue. That would even make more sense. I think there's a maximum number of households serviced. I'm not sure. There you go. So you get your color coding, the range. Cost me 1,000 credits a month. It's actually not bad. We also need some schooling. So all we can do right now are build some small elementary school. And there we go. We'll put it on the main street right here as well. Citizens are bored, so they'll want some entertainment. So that's under commerce. Leisure, there's sports and cultural leisure, or leisure. Or you can toggle that off and see both. Right now I've only got two options, the Ferris wheel and the basketball court. So we'll see what we can do to give them a few of those. Now I find that the range on these is pretty limited. I might be wrong, but I'll build a couple because they do like a fair amount of it. So we'll build the pair in both corners here. Really, I can't do police or fire yet? Interesting. Need more housing for things. For both, apparently. So, right, we'll expand our housing. So this will keep being a big residential block right over here. For the unskilled workers, we've unlocked the medium density, so I guess we'll pop down a little bit of that. I'm going to leave a gap over here. And do... it wants to autofill it that way, which I don't actually want. So let's go and build a road first. Sort of from here to there. And leave this open for various services and things later on. Medium density. Some of that, and then we'll drop in some more skilled workers as well. Bryson, the problem isn't that individual servers aren't working or not, it's that at least the North American login for Origins isn't working. So, because the thing is, I can play on European servers, Oceanic servers, and all that, but I can't even get to the screen where I get to choose. Right, because on this login screen here, like select the server, there's nothing. It's stuck in this checking for updates 100%, which is supposedly something more on the Origin side of it. I don't know. Supposedly. Wow, it just crashed. Alright, let's kill Origin and then try it again. It's getting more creative with its failures every time. Yeah, buildings are nice. And there are a lot of buildings. I think there's like a couple of thousand different building types in here. And the way they grow and expand is a little bit different. But I don't know, it's not that different. Offices are green. I think they want... our people want more jobs, though. Start building medium density, heavy industry. Because we like... a polluted hellscape is sort of my thing, right? Why does it, like, never choose to build the way I think it's going to build? It calculates the sort of closed corner very oddly. Oh, that actually, like, doing it there. And we'll stick in some manufacturing there as well. not. No, saving my city. Not while I'm in the middle of doing things. There we are. Again, I have to give SimCity 5 credit for being very snappy and fast. Or maybe it's more like this game is not snappy and not fast, because I actually have a pretty decent computer. It is a little worse off when I'm recording, but you know, it shouldn't be this unresponsive. Where's what is SimCity Recovery? Grand Age's Rome is still good. Tropical Forest, excellent. Someone bought Cities XL Platinum for €5. Yeah, that's the thing. It comes on sale all the time. Ah! Okay, it's busy. There's a queue. But, so the main server is up now. The authentication server is up. We just have to kill 20 minutes before we can actually get into the game itself. You know, I have full faith that this is going to be not a problem in a couple of days. I mean, it's really bad PR for now, and, you know, what I'm more concerned about in the long term is what happens, you know, 2 years from now when they shut down the server. Probably that's not going to happen. One of the things with all the DLC, I mean, they have every incentive to keep people playing as long as possible and keep selling them DLC, right? It's kind of like The Sims. You know, Sims 3 came out several years ago. They keep coming out expansions, and now they've got like lots more micropayments through their online store. You know, they want to keep it running. They don't want to shut it down in a year. If they do, that represents a huge failure on their part. It's not like someone else can't come around and like re-implement the game, because there's you can't copyright game mechanics. If you wanted to, actually, hold on, that's a good point. Why don't we just change servers? And do it just a public region. We'll start a new city. Because it's always been North America that's busy. Everything else has been fine, right? Let's do Europe West 2. I'll make a public region. And then theoretically people could just find it by name. I like it. But yeah, you can't copyright actual game mechanics. So you can make an exact clone, basically, of SimCity as long as you've got your own graphics, your own sound, and you don't call it SimCity. That's actually completely legal. That's fair. So, you know, you guys go and do that, except not always on, and I will totally buy that game. Yeah, Europe West 2. I'm gonna make a public game on there. We'll goof around in there for a little while. Let me save this. Actually, it'll auto-save when I quit. And the thing is, Cities XL kind of plays as if it were always on the server and things like that, except without actually being like that. It's kind of strange. Let me flip over to here. Let me turn off my title. Europe West 2. I will make a public region. Oh yeah. How do you skip the tutorial? Like, I mean, once I'm in it, it's fine. I can exit out and go to the main menu, but I haven't figured out how to just like skip it entirely when you go to a new server. Yeah, I think you'd want to avoid the word sim entirely. And the thing is, there are other. Someone posted on Twitter, there's some Kickstarter and stuff like that. It's like, listen, I'm not gonna like do a Kickstarter for someone's random like dream game, like, you know, with just like some concept art that they made. Like, you seriously have to have most of the game done before I'm going to support you on Kickstarter, because otherwise you're just giving your money away for nothing. Alright, play. Create game. Is Viridian Wood the only 16 city? I don't think so. I think there's another one. Discovery Delta. Titan Gorge. Whoa, look at all the waterways. It's kind of split into two. Let's do Discovery Delta. I'm just gonna call the region Quill 18, so you can search for that. It is a public region. Next, I'm gonna grab a random place here. There you go. Lots of coal, lots of ore, Lots of water, which is going to become rapidly polluted. I didn't actually notice. Does it have... It looks like it has both rail, road, and of course it will have water. It's got a pretty brutal cliff in it, but that's okay. Alright, so there is a region called Quill 18 in Europe West 2. I'm going to get it started, and I'm actually going to take a quick bio break, a bathroom break, and I'll be right back.